and welcome everyone to our last Monday night call in January. Oh my word, how fast January went, right? I hope you're all doing well. My name is Sarah Stutzman, and I am first and foremost, I am a mama to 3. I've been homeschooling this year. It has been a transition and I'm absolutely loving it. And some days I call my mom, what am I doing? Help. But I'm a functional health coach and a homesteader, and I am all about just learning truth, being self-sufficient, and using the things that God gave us as close to nature as possible to support our bodies. And together, my husband and I run Folk Revival, and it is a health and wellness business that, we teach people ancestral ways of eating and living, whether it's homesteading or preparing food. And under that umbrella is we run an essential oil business as well, where we plug many of you into our community so that you can feel equipped with how to use these beautiful God-made molecules that how you can use them to support your body and your family's body. And so I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for joining tonight. And I shared that my mom, Tracy Miller, she's going to be sharing again with me tonight. And I am just so proud of her for all that she has accomplished over the last couple of years. She is, and I'll let her introduce herself. I see, Mom, you have your video off, and that is totally cool. But when you're ready, you can pop on here if you want to introduce yourself too, and share your journey. But she has started out taking the Raindrop course. Actually, let me go back. When I joined, just the ranks of homesteading, and people were asking, what are you doing? And then, we got involved using these pure therapeutic grade oils. And people were asking me, and I was like, you know what? I really love this, and I'm not teaching anymore, but I love education. I love learning, and I'm going to go back and become a health coach. But I said, hey, Mom, why don't you do this with me? Because I'm like, it's just more fun to do it with someone. So she's like, sure. And then when I saw that Raindrop therapy course was being offered in the area, I was like, hey, I think you should do this. You would really love this. And so she just kind of took off with it. And I know many of you have gone and just had an amazing experience with her getting Raindrop therapy. So Mama, if you would like to just introduce yourself and just the journey that you've been on, to let everyone know who you are.
Can you see me? Can you see me?
I can't.
Hold on. You can't see me?
Nope.
No. Hold on. Not yet?
Nope. I know I normally can. And that's okay. If you can't get it working,
yeah,
you can still just shout out, and then by the time
maybe I'll figure it out. Yeah. I'm hitting the button here to do it, but it's not coming up.
Technology is wonderful sometimes. Right?
Because that's something I don't do very well. Yes, I am Tracy Miller. I'm Sarah's mom, and yes, she made me take the Raindrop class. She more than gently persuaded me, but no, I have no regrets. It's been an amazing journey. And of course, you take one of these CARE classes. CARE stands for Centers for Aromatherapy Research and Education. It's through the CARE Foundation that I've taken all of these different classes. And so it started with Raindrop. And then to be certified in Raindrop, then you had to take more classes to be certified, and then more classes to get your license. But to no regret, it's just been a great journey and just learning just about wellness. And I'm currently taking an aromatherapy class through CARE and really learning the history of essential oils, and the distillation process, the just amazing learning how to blend oils, learning the constituents in all the compounds, the molecules, exactly what they do in your body. And of course, it's just amazing. So there's always more and more things to learn, deeper understanding of what these essential oils can do. It makes me go back in my oils closet and revisit a lot of my oils that I didn't know what to do with them. Now I'm back there playing around with them even more. So it's pretty exciting. But yeah, that's kind of where my journey is. And thank you, Sarah, for getting me on this journey with your gentle persuasion. Yeah.
It's been what, 3 years that since you took your Raindrop course? So you've been on this journey for about 3 years.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years in the spring. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just like I always tell people, it's your starting point. Where is your starting point? For some of you, essential oils was that gateway into learning more about, other natural practices, whether it was going to see an integrative doctor or going for massage therapy or going for a raindrop massage. Like it's your starting point. And so find your starting point and then catapult from there. And one door is going to open to another. And tonight we're going to talk about frequency. And sometimes that scares people when you talk about energy. The word frequency, we think that it could be voodoo, weird. Some people consider it, like maybe witchcraft, or, it's very foreign to us. And so when anything is foreign to us, it's scary. And we're so programmed to, believe that's what science has taught us, to rely on what we can see and touch, and often don't notice that, we have a spirit. We do have a spirit. We were given a soul that was spoken into being. If this is what I believe, and some of you, maybe you don't believe this, but I believe that we have a God that created a world, by a universe, by just speaking it. Isn't that powerful? And our own words have power, not just our words, but our thoughts, because our thoughts become our words. And so we are a spiritual being. We are also a very electrical being that has energy. Okay. And so we're going to talk about that tonight in a non-scary way, but everything, and I have lots of notes here, so you might see me looking down at my notes because I want to keep this all very organized and understandable. And so everything in our world is vibrating. Okay, we all have a personal vibration that communicates who we are to the world and to the people around us. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you meet someone and you totally connect, right? You're like, wow, that person, like, we vibe together, we are kindred spirits. And then you have another person that you meet and you're like, I don't know, there was a disconnect, right? And I like to think of it as a magnet, right? You have two ends that just attract, and then you have two ends that are like polar opposites, and you're like, nope, not going together. And so that's energy at work, right? And so even our own personal vibration can match someone else's, or, totally, not get along, right? But we also have to learn how to get along with those that we might not vibe with. And guess what? We can use some oils for that. There is one called White Angelica that is wonderful at protecting our energy field. We have a 6-inch energy field. And when my mom and I were going through, she took the Raindrop course before I did, but there was a whole emotional component to it. And our instructor shared how you have a 6-inch energy field. If you've ever heard someone say you're too close, you're in my bubble, right? That is your energy field. And sometimes people can suck energy from us, and sometimes people can bring life to us. And so we can use oils that help protect our energy field. And white Angelica is one of those. I put it on daily, and I say a Bible verse. I say, I am protected. I am safe. The Lord gives me strength. I put on the full armor of God. I have a whole, verse that goes with that. But Albert Einstein said it best when he said, everything is energy. We literally live in a sea of vibration. Our own body and our environment, our world, everything is vibrating. It has I'll talk about what frequency actually is. 4 out of our 5 senses, sight, sound, touch, and taste, we receive data from the environment, which is transferred through our nervous system to our brain. And at the brain level, data is then interpreted on our mental beliefs, our schemas. Okay, so we hear a dog barking and we know, oh, from that sound, that's a dog. But if things maybe were different when the world was, created, if a cat was barking, we would know, oh, that's a cat barking, right? But that is, for us right now, that's foreign, right? Because we know a dog bark. We know the sound of thunder. We know when a plate crashes, and something in the kitchen breaks. We know sound. It resonates, that sound wave resonates, goes right to our nervous system, our brain. We interpret it. How quickly do we interpret that? I mean, rapid speed. Light also has a frequency, light speed, right? And so we can get energy from the sun. We can get energy from the plants we eat that the sun has given life to, and we collect that energy. Okay, so everything around us is energy. When it comes to the sense of smell, that's different. Okay? Odor is received by the receptors in our nose, and that is a signal. It's transferred to our olfactory bulb, which is our limbic system, which is our emotional cortex of our brain. And so because smell doesn't travel to the nervous system, it goes instead right directly to the brain. It is said that smell is the brain's direct link to our environment. All smells, like all sounds, have their own signature frequency. So smells have their own frequency. And if they didn't have their own vibration, we wouldn't be able to tell one odor from the next. So for example, we know that, what a cookie smells like compared to what trash smells like. There's good odors and there's bad odors. We walk into our home, or we walk into, let's say, our mom's home, or, a special person in our life. We walk into their home and it just smells good. It smells cozy. It smells inviting, and we feel safe. So sometimes smells can make us feel a certain way. Okay, especially with, maybe past trauma. If we smell something, it could trigger a past trauma or a past experience in our life that could be very negative. So I want you to think about, your, maybe not a past trauma, but a childhood. If you smell like a perfume that you wore in your teen years, it takes you back instantly, right? And so that's what smell does because of its frequency. And so since the human body is really energy, it makes sense to use energy-based products that are in alignment with us to support our body and mind, right? Let me take a sip. And so we can do that through eating whole foods, plant-based foods that were, animals that were raised on pasture, because they're getting energy from the grass, right? Sun gives the grass energy to grow, and then that animal eats it. It's this beautiful cycle. And so when we step outside of using products, consuming food that aren't in that beautiful cycle that God created, guess what? That brings down our frequency. Okay. And so tonight we're going to talk about the most highest vibing frequency, molecules that God gave us, and that's essential oils. But some other things, if you are, oils were your starting point, some other things that you can do to raise your vibrational frequency besides eating whole foods is like red light therapy. And these are things I want you to research because I'm not going to go deep into these. But these are up and coming things. Like I said, light has a frequency, but red light frequency. And you can go to Tractor Supply and get yourself a red light and put it on in the morning. I know friends that do this. I mean, it doesn't have to be an expensive red light. Put it on yourself in the morning and just sit for a little bit. Herbal remedies. Herbs were our first medicine. Plants, oils were our first medicine. And then something called a biomat, which my mama just invested in and we're learning all about. But it uses red light therapy. It uses crystals to help heal tissue and bring frequency to your body. So new technology, but there's other things too. There's plenty of other things that you can do to bring frequency, but the best and the easiest and the quickest is using essential oils. Okay. And so why do essential oils boost our mood and help us vibe higher? Well, you might hear people say, oh yeah, oils have an Orac value. And you might read about Orac values. It's completely different. Okay. Orac values, Orac stands for oxygen radical absorbance capacity. And that is really just antioxidants. Okay. Food has antioxidants. It's the Orac value. And essential oils also have high antioxidant properties that help, attach to free radicals and eliminate them from our body. But they also have very high frequency. So it's different. Frequency is measured in megahertz. So it's a different measurement scale, a different, thing that they can offer to our body. So in addition to the antioxidant benefits, when applied to the skin, oils also invoke good feelings of wellness and vitality through a process called entrainment. Okay. According to researchers in Washington using the Tanio technology, the vibrational frequency of essential oils are the highest of any natural known substance to man. And let me just tell you a little bit about Bruce Tanio and just the history of that. So, and let's just kind of talk a little bit about what frequency is too. Frequency is defined as a measurable rate of electrical energy that is constant between 2 points. And when there is frequency, there is electromagnetic potential. Okay? So it means that it could be like this magnetic attraction, just like we talked about personalities. Some people are, get along really well. Some people do not. Okay. Your body is attracted to certain things, right? Some of us love broccoli. Some of us are like, yeah, no thanks, right? It doesn't resonate and sit well with us. Some of us love red meat. Some of us, it does not sit well with us, right? It's our composition, it's our body composition, it's our frequency. And so that is, pretty much what frequency is. It's energy. So think about this with EMFs, electromagnetic fields. EMFs, Wi-Fi, our devices, we're on them all day long, right? Most of us, I don't want to say all of us, because my husband falls in this category of not having a smartphone. I applaud him, though he does take mine extra one to work and listens to podcasts all day long. So he is on it. But even if we're not on our devices all day long, we have Wi-Fi, right? In your workplace, if you are, in school, wherever we go, cafes, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. And we're moving towards this 5G and smart cities. If you're not familiar, look it up, smart cities. It's 5G is not for speed for us on our devices, it's to connect devices. So that your refrigerator can say you're low on ketchup. Like, seriously. I guess it does connect with us, but it connects with devices where you, and facial recognition and all of that kind of scary stuff, where you can walk into a restaurant, a McDonald's, and you're here to pick up an order. You don't have to say anything. They see your face and they know exactly who you are. That is what we're moving towards in the future. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of us to talk about, but we need to start talking about that, because what is that 5G going to do to us? It's an electromagnetic field that is like a opposite ends of a magnet, does not resonate with our body and our body frequency. So how do we elevate our frequency, protect it? Well, doing those things like eating whole foods, using biomat therapy, using red light therapy, using herbs, and essential oils, really. So where was I here? So just to think about that, I think that's our number one concern right now of why we want to raise our frequency. Also to stay well in these times. And also, I think we can't control the air we breathe. We can't control the 5G. We can't control even just the Wi-Fi we have now. We can't control water that is full of pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate from farming practices. It's being, it's just in our water system. And so those are the things we can't control, but we can control, how we respond to it. And so Bruce Tanio was the first one to develop this new equipment to measure biofrequency of humans and food and how we relate, okay? And what happens when we eat a food that is low in frequency? What happens when we can, we smell an oil that is high in frequency? What happens? And so that's Bruce Tanio. And just to give you some reference points of what a healthy human body should look like, before I do that, I want you in the comments, I want this to be interactive. I want you to think about and fill out this phrase for me. I feel dull or kind of blah when I XYZ. When do you feel blah or just not energetic? Comment, put that in the comments. When I'm not hydrated, when I eat fast food, when I don't move my body, when I don't sleep, when I eat too much, when I don't get fresh air, when I eat fatty foods, when I take medication. Yep, eating poorly, eating too much. When you don't reach your goal, so it's a mental, yep, all those negative words that we say to ourselves. Not eating, yes. Now I want you, feeling confused, yes, that too. Sedentary, when we get stuck in these ruts. Now I want you to fill in this. I feel vibrant and full of life when I. When do you feel like, yes, just high on life and so good? I'm in nature, walking, exercise, pet my dog, well rested, eat well, go for a walk, run outside, go hiking, soak up the sun, yay. When you're around energetic people, clean eating, starting your day with God, doing yoga, prayer, using your oils, dancing, hiking, sleeping well, exercising, playing, going to the beach, when I'm outside. Okay, guys, love it. You are in tune with your bodies. Yes. Stay in tune. You're feeling blah when you eat yucky food, when you're confused, when you are in a negative thought process. You feel good when you are, a lot of you said outside, when you're petting your dog, when you're around positive people, prayer. That is energy, friends. not rocket science, okay? That is energy. And so when we're outside, guess what we're smelling? We're smelling the air, those molecules in the woods. Like the woods have an amazing smell, right? And it just makes you happy. Those are molecules from the trees. And when we can distill that into a little bottle and create those living molecules in a bottle, and we can smell that, even if we can't go into the woods and we smell Idaho blue spruce. We're going to talk about that later, shortly. We smell that, oh my word, that works on our emotions, right? On our emotional level. So when we're feeling in a rut and we can't get outside, we're in our, office cubicle, or, we're stuck cleaning the house, or doing something we don't want to do, we can smell an oil, we can put it on, and instantly we can have that vibrancy, right? We can feel better. And so a healthy human body should resonate at between 62 to 78 megahertz. Remember, that's how frequency is measured. Don't ask me what that looks like or how to expand on that, because that's a little over my head. But 62 to 78 megahertz, okay? And disease, or I like to think of it as dis-ease, imbalance, can set in at 58 megahertz, okay? And then it goes on from there. I mean, I think it's cancer can set in at like 42 megahertz. Epstein-Barr, it might be like 52. And Epstein-Barr is really, it's a herpes virus. That's what it is. And it can stay dormant in our body. Thyroid, a lot of times our viruses stay dormant in our thyroid. Our poor thyroid takes so much. And so we should be thankful for a healthy thyroid and just give it love. But here's the thing, fresh foods, fresh, whole, organic foods, and I say organic, we don't want pesticides, herbicides, any of that on our food, because that will deplete the frequency, is 20 to 27 megahertz. Dried herbs is 52 to 22 megahertz. So that's adding that frequency to our body. Fresh herbs is 20 to 27 megahertz. You ready for it, guys? Essential oils start at 52 megahertz and go all the way up to around 520 megahertz. The highest essential oil frequency is Idaho blue spruce, just what I put on. It resonates. I've seen different studies, so between 520 to 540. Rose is the second highest at 320 megahertz. Incredible. So yes, you can eat fresh foods, right? But oils are nutrition too. When we put them on our body, when we're inhaling them, and when we're consuming them, because if you have pure grade therapeutic oils, you can consume them. They are safe. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Processed food, canned food, food that's been microwaved has 0 megahertz. So you could take the best food and microwave it and you zap the frequency of it. Okay. So that's why fresh is always best. And here's a little study before my mama gets into the reason why we want to have really, really good, pure essential oils. This study was done with 2 participants. They were holding a cup of coffee. Holding a cup of coffee drops your megahertz down to 58. They were then allowed to inhale some essential oils. 3 seconds later, their frequency went back up to normal. It was like 66 megahertz, went back up to normal within 3 seconds. That was just holding a cup of coffee, guys. I'm not getting rid of my coffee. You guys want to get rid of your coffee? Maybe not, right? Maybe you don't like coffee, and that's okay. Sipping the coffee dropped it to 52 megahertz, so a little bit lower. Again, they gave them 3, an essential oil to inhale. Didn't say which one, but they just inhaled an essential oil. Again, within 3 seconds, their frequency went back up to 66 megahertz, popped back up. They did the same thing, okay, But without essential oils, they did the same study, but without essential oils, it took 3 days for their frequency to go back up. That's incredible, right? So drink your coffee, but put your essential oils on, right? So there is a difference. There is a complete difference in oils that you get on the market today. Let me get my notes here so I don't forget anything. Yes, okay. So I tell this to you because of the popularity of essential oils today. In the last decade, oils have just skyrocketed. You can find them anywhere. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them in your local grocery store. You can find them, I mean, you name it. I want you to put in the comment, where was the most random place you saw essential oils for sale? Because you can get them pretty much anywhere now. And that's really in the last decade. They've become super popular. You know, when I was 16, I would go to the health food store, my little hippie shops, and that's where I'd get my oils. Were they okay then? Probably not, because we're going to dive into the history. But 5 and below, yeah, farmers markets, Dollar Tree, guys, seriously. And we have friends buying them there. You might have bought them there. I have once bought essential oils at farmers markets. Green Dragon, yes. Avon, I was buying them through Avon at one point. So it's okay, just know better, do better, right? And we want to help our friends know better, do better, because we don't want people putting these oils on their body thinking that they are going to do miraculous, amazing things, because they are not, when they are not pure therapeutic grade oils. And so it's not about, you know, which company is the best, and you know, it's not about company, it's about the oil itself and what it's going to do to help you raise your frequency, live above the wellness line, right? And so there, you know, essential oils date back to before Christ, BC, and my mom's going to talk about that. But only recently, like I said, in the last decade, have the resurgence and the popularity of oils, you know, made a big comeback. And there's a reason for that. There is a gold standard in essential oil world, and it started with a man named Gary Young, who brought back the ancestral ways of growing, harvesting, and distilling pure therapeutic grade oils. He had his own set of health setbacks and was on the hunt for something that would help him when modern medicine failed him. So he studied under a French aromatherapist, because at the time there were no therapeutic grade oils on the market in the United States. And so this is where my mom, Tracy, has been learning so many amazing things. And I was just like, tell me more, tell me more. So I was like, hey, can you just, you know, tell all these members, all these viewers that are joining us tonight, can you tell them what you're learning and the history of where essential oils, because you read the Bible and there's oils mentioned all over the place, right? And where was this disconnect? Where do we lose the reliance on oils as medicine? And then when did it come back into play? So if you mute yourself, Mom, thank you.
I
And
just did.
awesome. And share with us the history
Well,
of oils, because this
yeah,
plays into, this is really important for frequency and knowing,
it is.
right?
Yes.
Knowing what you're getting.
I want to, before any of you forget, I'm going to stay on the subject of good food, organic food, healthy soil. That is part of the gold standard of young living. You don't want pesticides, fertilizers, and things in your oils. That is the first part of the process of pure therapeutic oils. And the other thing too, the United States, which I'm learning all these things, and trust me, this aromatherapy course is not a young living aromatherapy course. This is an aromatherapy course that is set apart from young living, but emphasizes if you are to become an aromatherapist, which is what my goal is, you must seek and find the purest oils to use on your clients. And the United States has no standard for therapeutic grade essential oils, none. So anyone could stick that on a label and sell it for any amount of money, and people believe it. Even the gas chromometers, how do you say that word, Sarah?
The top one, chromography.
Gas chromatography can be used for good and also be used for not good. Companies can use those machines to isolate the constituents and then synthesize them to smell and quote unquote call them therapeutic, where Young Living isolates them to know that they have the pure constituents in their oils. Everything's tested. So that was a big surprise to me to realize that there is no standard in our there's no government agency that is putting a standard on therapeutic. Therapeutic can be put on anything. The only standard that our country has is if you use them in food, and it's a standard that the FDA sets aside. And another organization, it's another, it's called GRAS, generally recognized as safe. And that is, those are the only two standards. And trust me, they're not very high standards when you think about what's on the market. And that's just my opinion. You can do your own research, but yeah, no standards. And also with the distillation process, a lot of the oils, whether you buy them at Turkey Hill, CVS, Rutter's, Walmart, most oils, 95% of oils on the market today, 95% are not being made properly, and they're being made for fragrance or food additives, which leaves only 5% of the oils that are being made in our market for exactly what I need to do to be an aromatherapist. And that is everything that I'm learning right now. So, and those oils that 95% or more are probably used, they're extracted with chemicals called hexane solvents and chemicals. They extract with heat and chemicals out of these plants, and what's left behind are just, it's dead. It has no frequency. All it is like a perfume. You're just smelling, you're essentially smelling probably maybe parts of the plant, but you're smelling a chemical that was probably reproduced. And that's everything that I'm studying right now. So there's no frequency in any of that. There's no living molecules. There's nothing. You're essentially just buying something that smells nice. So it's kind of like burning a candle. Mm-hmm. So that's not very good. Mm-hmm. But anyway, going back to the history of oils dates back to, according to what I'm learning, 4500 BC. So 4500 BC is the earliest that they have recorded anything. The Egyptians may have been the first to discover the potential of oils. Recording dates back to 4500 BC, describing the use of oils for aromatic properties, for religious rituals, medicinal applications, embalming, and using them for emotional clearing and rituals. As a matter of, in 1922, when King Tut's tomb was opened, it was discovered that the tomb robbers had stolen nearly all of the precious oils. The robbers chose the oils over a literal king's ransom in gold, showing the value of fragrant essential oils in these ancient civilizations, because that was their medicine. And obviously that medicine must have been more valuable to them than gold, because we didn't have medicine until, well, it's amazing how we populated the earth and we came as far as we did before pharmaceuticals. Now that I'm researching all these things, it's amazing. And then during the 17th century, well, we had perfumery. Perfumery became an art form. And this was a really interesting thing that I just learned. During that time period was when tuberculosis was a common affliction, yet workers processing flowers and herbs generally remained disease-free. So people started to recognize this. People like researchers and people that were just questioning, why are those workers not getting tuberculosis? So the first recorded lab tests of antibacterials of properties of the plants was performed in 1887. Well, the father of aromatherapy was born in 1881 in Lyon, France. Now, when I'm discovering the history of essential oils, the United States is never, ever mentioned in any of the history. It's not in the United States. Most of it started with the Egyptians and the Romans, and then it moved to Europe. The French were the ones that really mastered perfumery. Then there was this family, their last name was Gattefossé. Gattefossé family pretty much built a perfume empire. And then in 1881, René Maurice Gattefossé was born. He was 26 years old when he took over his father's perfumery business because he was elderly and he retired. The business expanded through Europe, Indonesia, China, Japan. That's how big he grew this business with using oils for perfume. And then in July of 1910, René Gattefossé was mixing the chemicals. We've all heard the story about how the man put his arm in the vat of lavender and healed his hand. What really happened was he was mixing chemicals for the perfume in the perfumery lab, and he exploded a vat of chemicals. He exploded. His hands were severely burned, and after gangrene was setting in, he thought he would try the lavender oil on his gangrene infested hands, and it instantly stopped the progression of the gangrene and the healing started, which then that was the discovery of using essential oils for medicinal and healing properties in that time period. Now go back to, that was already being done in the Egyptian and Roman time period, but then we had like ebbs and flows when they were using essential oils for medicinal purposes and then just for perfumes. So when that was discovered, Gattefossé shared this with, he actually wrote a book on it, which you can actually purchase. There are books out on Amazon that you can purchase on the history of essential oils. He shared this information with different doctors that shared it with more doctors. And during World War I, World War II, they were using lavender oil and other oils for medicinal purposes with the soldiers, lavender oil for healing wounds, because antibiotics were in short supply during World War II. And then Big Pharma got introduced. Once pharmaceutical was introduced, the use of essential oils, which was always the medicine that people had because there was nothing else, it kind of fell to the wayside. So there was a gap of time where essential oils just were not being used. And then Gary Young came along, and he was looking for ways of healing his body. He went to his first medical conference in Geneva, Switzerland, where he met all these different doctors that had been talking and using, and they were just it was all about using essential oils for health and wellness. And he was just so amazed with what he had learned. He brought back 13 different oils and just started messing around with them and discovering what they could do in his body. And he was just so excited about that. Then he went to France and studied the French model of distillation. And that was under, what was that under? That's under Henry Vaughan. Henry Vaughan. He was the French father of distillation. He was in the province of France, the lavender capital of the world, and he studied the distillation of essential oils, that you could distill them for medicinal properties. And that's how essential oils got to the United States. The United States, Gary Young brought therapeutic. Well, when I say therapeutic, that's so broad. He brought the medicinal therapeutic essential oils to the United States. And of course, that spawned all the competition, other oil companies popping up, and that's capitalism. But yeah, that's how essential oils pretty much from the beginning of time till now is where we are. But yeah, so when pharmaceuticals came into play, however you want to view that, you know, I'm not against pharmaceuticals, but I also know that they're not, our body can't tolerate them over a long period of time. And we need to be careful with what we're putting into our body.
And how do essential oils, briefly, it's almost 9 o'clock. There's so much information to share. And this is really important, guys. The history. You're probably thinking, why are you sharing this history with me when we're talking about frequency? Well, just like you wouldn't when you eat food that is canned, food that is microwaved at a high heat with microwaves, it's killing the food. So when you're distilling oils that have been, or plants that have been grown with pesticides, herbicides, that are distilled with hexane, distilled at high heats, you are killing the plant molecules that are meant to actually raise your frequency. So that bottle of oil you buy, from a reputable aromatherapist down the road. I have 2 of them in the area. There's one right down the road in my town. And then there's one down in Honeybrook, and they say that they know the farmers that raise them. Well, you might know the farmers, but do you know the distillation process? Is the science down? Do they have the science down where the temperature is just right for that plant? All plants are different. All plants have to be harvested at a certain time. And the soil has to be right. The nutrition of the soil, making sure there's, beneficial minerals in that soil. It has to be organic. And then also the pressure, making sure there's cold distill, there's steam distill, there's so much science. So we want to make sure that we know the company that we're buying from then you can go visit the farms and actually see the distillation process. So that's why we're talking about that. But briefly, how do oils, what do they do when you inhale them, when you put them on your skin? What are those molecules doing in our cells to make them vibrate? Because our cells are actually vibrating. And when our cells' vibration goes down, that's when our body's wellness goes down. We want to keep our cells vibrating high. That's how our cells are communicating and replicating. So how do they work, Mama?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because yes, the distillation process is so incredibly, it has to be perfect. It is perfection. There's so many variables that go into getting that oil to us perfect, that I don't see how it's even possible that any person in their backyard or on a farm could get it right. And even when I started taking this course, as I've said to Sarah, I never thought I'd be learning this much science. I'm learning the periodic table again. I'm learning chemistry at a level of I'm thinking, oh my word, this is what we're getting in our body, which is so incredible. But yes, the distillation process has to be low temperature, low pressure, steam distillation. It can't be done quickly, can't be done at high temperatures without killing the energy of the oil. It is so incredibly precise. But there's multiple constituents in those oils, from aldehydes to oxides to monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, phenols. I mean, I could go on and on and on, all these chemistries, all the chemistry that I have to learn. And every single one of these different constituents does something specific. Each one has a job, just like it has, how can I say this? It has a job. The oils, the same protection those oils give to the plant to survive in nature is what's distilled out and put in, that we put in our body to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just incredible. Even through inhalation, and again, learning all the different ways through inhalation, through taking them, ingesting them, just learning like all the different oils that can be ingested and which ones can't be ingested. And that's something that, you know, Sarah can teach, or I can teach, or anybody that you signed up with or can help you, because not all oils are ingestible.
And that we'll talk about next week with.
Yeah, topically, yeah, through, there's 4 different ways that you can put them on, but each constituent has a specific purpose in the body. And every oil has so much frequency. Even if you wake up, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'll look at oils and I'll think, which one do I feel like I want today? Your body knows. Just listen to your body. You know, it may just be one that smells really good, or sometimes you don't even know why you pick one out of the closet. Just put one on.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was not really into them in the beginning, and now he'll get out of bed because he forgets to put his oil on and put it on. But that's because he really does feel the difference now. He knows when he doesn't put them on. So it's nutrition. Oils are nutrition. Nutrition is anything that you put on your body, in your body, what you eat, everything.
Because your skin is your largest organ.
Yes.
And you're putting it on, it's like one big mouth, right? And it's taking it in and it's using it, it's going right into your bloodstream. You were saying, you know, oils in the cell, they help the cell, they'll take waste out of the cell, they'll clean receptor sites off. And
yes,
there are certain, like the monoterpenes and the sesquiterpenes definitely do different things. And so some oils are heavier with monoterpenes, some oils are heavier with, they all have a little bit, but some oils are heavier in sesquiterpenes. And so there's this balance. And so they do those things in your cells to help your cells
they're
function.
they're regenerative, they're restorative, they're regenerative, they're cleansing, they're calming, and that's, yeah.
Yeah. And
Antiseptic, antiviral, anti-spasmodic, all the antis.
yeah.
So
And
it's just learning, it's just learning what each one of those constituents does, so that you know which, if you do have a specific condition, you know which oil you need.
yeah.
If otherwise you don't have a condition, just pick an oil you like the smell and put it on every day.
Yeah. And that's not, and we're not saying that only this company's oils do that. We're saying know that you're, you know, where you're getting your oils from, because this dates back to BC times, right? This has been studied way before any, you know, mass, you know, popularity in using oils has come around. This has been known that these oils do these. I mean, look at Jesus got frankincense. I mean, they gave Mary frankincense. I don't think it was just for Jesus, but I think it was for her too, because of just the benefits of that oil. And so we can think of, you know, I always call it my Jesus oil, right? But where was I going with that? So just do your research. Make sure where you're getting your oils from. You can go and visit the farms. You can see that there's no chemicals, pesticides. You can see the distillation process. You can go and see the gas chromatography and how they're reading the oils and the science behind it. There needs to be full transparency from where you're getting your oils from. And so do your research. If you need help with that, if you want to know, hey, where are you getting these pure therapeutic oils? We will help you with that. We will plug you into a community that is fully supportive. But it's really important. It's not just about, the company you belong to. I feel like that's the thing these days. It is, these are the oils that I use, and this is how amazing I feel. They are making me feel amazing. I'm seeing results, right?
Yes, the other thing I'm learning the electrical system of these oils. I mean, I'm learning about neutrons, electrons, protons, all these things. I learned a little bit of all of these things when I went to Raindrop training, and how the oils work electrically in your body and resonate with your electric system. Again, frequency, vibration, electricity. It's really all in that same plane. But again, I didn't think I was taking aromatherapy to learn chemistry.
Yeah, yeah. But it all works together, and we're all interconnected, and our system is interconnected, and we're connected to nature. We're created to be connected to one another, to nature. Our systems are connected, and so each system in our body, each cell in each system, they all resonate at a different speed. And so, our heart, the cells in our heart have a different speed than the cells in our liver or our kidneys. And so it's awesome to see how different oils will support different systems of the body, and the emotional components too. Oils that are higher in sesquiterpenes really do amazing work with brain health and emotions and well-being. And oils like Idaho blue spruce, so all those woodsy scents, are so grounding and earthy, and they can work wonders on emotions and helping to calm our nervous system, calm our mind. And then other oils like peppermint are great for energy when we need that boost of energy and clarity and mental focus. So oils, here's just a little tidbit, as you're probably going to go do some research on, like, tell me oil frequencies. But there's different charts out there that you can find. There's all different charts. And oils that, I'm not posting any specifics because the ones that I have are specifically blends for the company that I'm talking about. But oils that have a lower frequency, that are like 98, even like 52, 56, those lower frequency oils work on the physical body, so your systems. All right. Oils that have a high frequency, like rose at 320 or Idaho blue spruce at like 540, those oils work on your emotional well-being. Okay, those target the limbic system in a big way. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at your frequency charts. Okay. But I'm just, thank you, Mom, for sharing all that history and all the science, and because it's so scientific. And I want you guys to understand, you got these oils, and it's like, do you even know the power you have in your hands, the power you have in your house? And in these days and these days to come, that is so invaluable. Just like the Egyptians that robbed King Tut's tomb, they took the oils, the medicine, over the money. Because I want you to remember this, when you feel like crap, when you are sick and you're laying down on the sofa and you can't move, all you want is to feel better. Nothing else in the world matters. And so for these days and the days to come, stock your home with oil. There is oil in the house of the wise, right? So stock your home with oils, good quality, pure grade oils to support your well-being, your emotional well-being, your vibrancy, and to help you vibe higher. So thank you all for joining tonight. Thank you, Mom, so much for sharing.
Thank you, Sarah.
And if you have any questions on this, you can totally reach out to me. I'll leave my email, but I feel like a lot of you know how to get in touch with me, but it's sarah@wellfolkrevival.com. And Mom, if you want to share in the chat feature on the side your information. My mom does raindrop therapy. She's amazing at it. She does emotional releasing with the oils. She also, like I said, she just got the biomat, which she uses again with her raindrop therapy. And so any of these things, reach out to us. Next week, we're talking specifically about beginning your journey with oils and oils that you can use every day in everyday life, right? And that's with Sarah Paul next week. And I think I got everything. If you are, if you're like, I need pure therapeutic grade oils, reach out to the person that invited you, and we will hook you up and help you. So have a wonderful night tonight. If you have any questions, you can stay on and kind of chat. I'll stay on for another, 5 minutes. If you have any specific questions, you can put in the comment, but if you have to go, totally get it. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Yeah, Sarah, how do I get my information on there?
Oh, I'll just put your phone number if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You just have to leave a message because I don't answer if I don't know the number.
Spam, right? 51.
I just got the biomat, so I'm still I have to play with it and figure it out. But I'm very excited about it.
Is that the mat where you have to go on like slowly and work your way up?
Yes, I got the pillow too.
Okay.
It just came in the mail on the weekend. I've been wanting one for a very long time and saved up my money and finally bought one.
Yeah.
Sarah, could you repeat, you were talking about the fresh food, organics, herbs, and the
Yes.
the mega, what do you call it? Megahertz.
Megahertz. Yeah.
So the food had, what was it, 20 to 27?
Yes. Fresh food, fresh organic food.
And then herbs was the same?
Dried herbs was 15 to 22.
Okay.
And fresh was 20 to 27.
Okay.
Yeah. And Andrea, you said raindrop technique. Okay. Do you want to talk about what that specifically is, Mom?
Yeah, raindrop technique it's using oils on the feet and the spine, and it raises your frequency. It boosts your immune system. It supports immune system, supports frequency. It's just overall health support. It also does a lot with cleansing receptor sites because many of the oils in the raindrop therapy support cleansing receptor sites. There's so many different things. Yeah, you can private message me and I can just maybe go over some of the things that I've used it for helping people with supporting different conditions.
And so what it is it's you drop it, so it feels like a raindrop down your back. And it's these high-powered oils that you put on your feet, work into your VitaFlex points in your feet and then on your back, but you feather it. So it's taking it from your spine.
You're working it through the central nervous system.
Yeah. And so through the nerves into different organs. And so I know when we were learning it, you could have an emotional release as well, because you hold emotions in your organs, whether depending how you deal with emotions or past trauma. Some people stuff their emotions, stress or anger or whatever, resentment, whatever that does. And yes, Andrea, she does do this for people. Her aromatherapy course, it's your last course to be, what is it? What do they call that? Because anyone can go learn raindrop, but you have to go through a series of courses. And so that way, when you're touching people, to make sure you're safe, they're safe, that kind of thing. So what's your last course?
Oh. This was the course. This is the final course that they offer that I can actually use to become an aromatherapist, but I had to take all the other courses first. But it's really enhancing, it gives you a much deeper understanding of what you're actually have in your hands with these oils. How many years have I been using oils and doing raindrop? And I never realized, you just never realize the power of these little oils, these little bottles. You just look at things differently when you have a whole new learning of them. But yeah, the emotional release, raindrop therapy, yeah, just
Yeah, I put your number there. So Andrea, if you want to, anyone, you could call her, but just leave a message. She will, yes.
yeah,
She is
but understanding emotional release. I mean, memories are in our mind. We can't put everything in our brain. So we store the memories in our mind, but we store the emotions somewhere in our body.
Mhm.
And sometimes during a raindrop, those oils can actually release that memory or that trauma. Some people don't even know they have it. I just worked with someone a few weeks ago, and the word disassociation, if you understand what that means, people really don't have memories of trauma. They have maybe some things going on in their life and they are trying to figure out the root of it, which oftentimes raindrop can start that, and emotional release can happen, or you can have an emotional release there.
Because you are amazing I love your stories. You always say, I just, you'll get spots on your back too, like maybe over your kidneys or your liver that'll like get red and inflamed because, it's bringing toxins to the surface, emotions to the surface. But I always say that you have a sixth sense, and you always say, I felt that you needed to just be in this room with this oil, and I'm going to leave you here with it.
Yes.
To cry because then you normally come back and that person's crying, and you have to feel open and comfortable with the person that is working on you, and you have that wonderful caring spirit about you, and so this is just another avenue to healing, to getting in touch with yourself, your root issues of what you're going through that you can't pinpoint. If you're stuck and you don't know where to turn, this could be an avenue.
Yes. But so many people are afraid to go there.
Yeah.
They first have to not be afraid to go there.
Yeah.
It's
And
just like any other healing. If you're afraid to go to the doctor because you don't want to be told what's wrong with you, so you're ignoring symptoms, it's no different with emotional health. If you're afraid to get to the root of why you're suffering or what, yeah, I could cry.
yeah, it is. It's deep. So my mom is Tracy, you're in Myerstown, Pennsylvania, which is Lebanon County. But you do travel as well to people's homes. You prefer to work on women. If
Yeah.
you work on a husband, you prefer that the wife is in the room just because, yeah.
Right.
But yes, if there's any other questions, I know it's like 9:13 and we could talk all night on this. If you have specific questions, you can message either myself or Tracy and we will help you. But if there's no other questions at this time, I just thank you so much for joining tonight. Have a beautiful evening. Good night.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank you, Mama.
Bye, hon.